Kia ora guys, I'm Ryan Inglis. Spike just got in touch saying that these guys needed some help explaining the housing policies for this year's election. He was going to do it himself, but he lives in some sort of ice cave. So I figured it would probably make more sense coming from me, someone who lives in a house. So let's get amongst. New Zealand First reckons there's a serious shortage of affordable homes. They want to keep interest rates at 2% for the first 5 years before lifting them up to the lowest market rates. Non-residents who are not New Zealand citizens would only be able to buy homes if they genuinely need them. They also want to create a housing plan that covers first home buyers, renters, insurance, sustainability, quality, and integrated public transport. ACT wants major centres to have their own rules for urban development, which would prioritise land supply and cut down on red tape for developers. They want to help local councils greenlight development by having the government pay for some of the GST on construction. They want to get rid of council inspections too, instead giving the job to private insurers. National want to make more cheaper homes by fast-tracking home building in certain areas and by investing $1 billion into infrastructure like water and roads. Like ACT, they want to slash red tape to let developers get developing. Lastly, they want to tighten the rules around people buying and selling property so that they're paying their fair share of taxes. The Opportunities Party plans to gradually introduce a productive asset tax on housing, which they believe would keep house prices stable and stop market speculation. They want to make it easier for renters to stay in the same home by making it harder for landlords to evict them. They also want to improve the quality of rental properties by introducing a rental warrant fitness. TOP would give Housing New Zealand stock to not-for-profit organisations to increase the quality and supply of social housing. Like TOP, Labour wants to crack down on property speculation, but they want to do this by stopping foreign speculators from buying existing Kiwi homes and by extending the Bright Line test from 2 to 5 years. Labour wants to build 100,000 affordable homes over the next 10 years, and they want to get rid of the Auckland urban growth boundary. They also want to free up density controls. To help with all this building, Labour has a dole for apprenticeships policy, which would subsidise employers to take on around 4,000 young people for on-the-job training in areas like building and construction. Labour also wants to increase the quality of rental accommodation. The Maori Party want to develop a national strategy for tackling the housing crisis and to eliminate homelessness by 2020. They plan to do this by building 90,000 homes by 2022, 60,000 of which will be in Auckland. They also want to introduce low-interest loans and a rent-to-buy scheme, just like the Greens. To help with all this construction, they want to double the number of Maori and Pacific Islanders in the construction industry through trade training. The Maori Party also want to protect renters' rights by reviewing the bond system and enforcing a compulsory annual warrant of fitness on all rental accommodation. The Greens will make 10,000 homes available over the next 10 years for people who otherwise couldn't afford them with a rent-to-buy scheme, which basically means that some of the rent you pay goes towards buying the house. They will also allow social housing providers, including iwi, to buy an additional 5,000 homes for their communities. The Greens support allowing people to put off paying their student loans so they can save for a house, and they also want to give more rights to renters. Thanks for watching. I hope that helps with your decision on September 23rd, so get out there and get amongst.